A loss causes a girl to lose her voice. Now she is left alone to travel a strange world. Gris is an artistic platformer that was recently developed by Nomada Studios and published by Devolver Digital. It is a very impressive combination of amazing art and a poignant narrative. The gameplay is streamlined, allowing the player to easily progress the narrative while hidden pickups give the players a more robust challenge. This game is a masterpiece on all fronts. The gameplay is a basic platformer. The player runs around and jumps in order to traverse the environment. As one progresses through the game, they will be given other abilities to overcome obstacles. All of the gameplay is smooth, which is good because it makes the art look all the better. Most of the player's objectives are fairly easy to reach. This allows Gris to maintain a good narrative pace throughout the game. For those who want a challenge, there are hidden collectibles on the map that are more difficult to find. I have no complaints about the gameplay whatsoever. Despite the simplistic gameplay, Gris gives the player a good variety of challenges. The game is structured into 4 areas that the player explores. Each of them has their own theme which informs the challenges that the player will face in that area, ranging from sandstorms to platforms that are only solid when in the light. The variety that is afforded by Gris's varied environments keeps the gameplay fresh throughout the entire experience. In all honesty, it's not particularly difficult to keep gameplay engaging throughout a 3-hour-long experience. However, I do think that the variety inherent in Gris was a valuable element to the game. Of all of the elements in this game, the art is definitely the most immediate draw. All of the art in this game, from the still images to the animations, is brilliantly done. All of the assets appear to be hand-drawn with meticulous detail that really makes the game come to life. I was genuinely impressed by how good it all looks. A surprising amount of detail went into even the smallest aspects of the game. The animations are also very smooth. Characters move very naturally. A character's movement is one of those things that you will not necessarily notice if it's done well, as the entire point is to make animation as seamless as possible. The fact that I never noted anything about the animations, especially anything bad, while playing, is a testament to how well they are designed. Gris does not just look and play nicely, it also has a well thought out theme. The story follows a girl who lost someone important to her. I would bet that it is a motherly figure, but the story is intentionally vague about who was lost. The game opens with the girl's loss and then follows her through her journey as she learns to deal with her loss. Each world area represents a different method that she uses to cope and roughly follows the 5 stages of grief. The abilities that the player earns in each area represent the ways in which the main character overcomes that particular aspect of their grief, whether that be to harden herself against the world around her or to embrace the element of her loss. Throughout the game there is no combat, but there is an antagonist. Quite fittingly, the antagonist is the loss itself. The player will consistently find themselves at the antagonist's mercy as the main character is unwilling to face the reality of her loss. Just as the abilities, which could be seen as stand-ins for life lessons, that the character gains help her to overcome each stage of her grief, they also help her to not be consumed by the utter grief of her loss. The antagonist shows a nuanced view of grief. Overcoming each area is vital to moving beyond one's loss, but it does not address the actual issue. At some point, one has to come face to face with their loss in order to overcome it. The entire story is told without any words. The narrative is told half in gameplay and half in visuals. The visual aspect is pretty straightforward, as there are a couple of narrative cutscenes and a lot of important images in the background of the scenes. The gameplay, on the other hand, is more impressive. As I noted on multiple occasions, both the environments that the character travels through and the abilities that she gains are representative of how she overcomes her loss. The developer clearly put immense thought into every game mechanic, as nothing appears to be out of place. This, I think, is the most impressive part of Gris. It is an example of how powerful a set of well-thought-out game mechanics can be, and it shows the power of gaming as a narrative medium. That is an impressive achievement for any game. It is also worth noting the value of the publisher Devolver Digital. While most of their works are fairly typical of gaming in general, with titles including Enter the Gungeon and Minute, Devolver has shown a track record for taking risks on more experimental pieces, such as Gris and the Red Strings Club. Quite a few of the most impressive recent narrative games, especially those that utilize narrative gameplay, have been published by Devolver. A healthy balance between experimental narratives and more average gameplay experiences may be the route to having more meaningful gameplay experiences in the future. This strategy is not new in any way, shape, or form. In fact, balancing out the risk of experimental pieces with safe mainstream investments is generally how publishing in film and print has been done in the past. In gaming, on the other hand, the strategy is not yet fully taken off. The continued success of Devolver Digital should stand as a testament to the value that this model will likely have in future game production. Overall, Gris is an exceptionally well-built narrative experience. The gameplay is intentionally designed to tell the story with minimal use of cutscenes and no dialogue. Each area that the player enters and every ability that they gain represents some method of overcoming the main character's loss. The game's narrative focuses on the main character overcoming the loss of someone who was important to her. It is a poignant narrative that permeates every aspect of Gris. The gameplay is smooth and never forgets the core purpose of the game. Everything about Gris is finely crafted, from the seamless art to the brilliant narrative. This is a must-buy. Games as well crafted as this one only show up a couple of times a year, and you would be remiss to let this game slip by. Pick it up and enjoy the experience. With that, thanks for watching and, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.